Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Grinder27, and today I have some more zombies gameplay for you. But the topic of discussion is going to be a lot different this time. I'm actually going to be talking about a lot of the problems in zombies, so if you don't want to watch this video because it's going to be almost 40 minutes long, then by all means, no need to watch it. It's just some gameplay here in the background of the one game I actually played so far today. Well, technically it's second because the first one ended weirdly, but that's the point. Anyways, one of the first things I wanted to talk about was really the amount of spam in special and elite zombies. I looked at the patch notes. I know they said they're going to do some tweaks of saying, oh, they're going to show up now in the bowling lanes and different things like that. That's fine. I didn't really care about that. And beforehand, before the patch came out, I didn't think, oh, the elites are too bad or the specials are too bad. And then, you're going to see like in this gameplay, I have times where I kill an abomination, a new one pops back up somehow because the spawn reset, and I guess the game assumed, according to the data of the code, I don't know what exactly, that I didn't kill the abomination when I did in fact kill it, so it respawns a new one. There's moments where there's legitimately about 13 different manglers just on around like 37, which has been insane. I typically get up to 40s every single time I play the game and have really no problem at all to kill them with any regular gun. But here in the clip, like as you can see, I just killed an abomination. I'm gonna run around here to get out, make sure I don't die. I turn around, oh, there's another abomination shooting, which makes absolutely no sense. I don't know what they did there. It could be a bug, but hopefully Treyarch sees this. Maybe they'll fix it. Who knows? But yeah, that's one of the problems. Originally, Elite spam wasn't that bad. Special, the Mangler spam, I didn't care too much because they still kind of fell over, especially when you had Deadshot or really just used any weapons for the most part. Majority of the time using regular weapons, whether it's snipers, whether it's pistols. Most of the manglers, they just fell over. Pistols, would take a little bit more work, simply because, yeah, you would need the napalm burst mod too. But once you get to round 25, you get Deadshot and you have at least the armor penetration augment on. They all just kind of just die, so there wasn't a huge problem. But one thing I noticed even when I was going back through this gameplay and just kind of editing, there's gonna be a ton more of armored zombies, and not just regular armored zombies. I mean the heavy zombies. So that was something that was notorious, at least from what I saw as a viewer, when watching people like Mr. T-Lexify in Cold War. Zombies or Noah J or Mr. Ruffle Waffles, the big zombie YouTubers. Just watching them, there's a lot of heavy zombie spam in the later rounds, but it's kind of weird that, this is some of the earlier rounds. You'll see it later on in the gameplay. There's just a lot of heavy zombie spam. There's manglers everywhere. Instead of it being about every 5 to about 10 rounds you get an abomination spawn, now you're getting them about every 2 to 3 rounds, which I think is a bit of a problem, especially with how point generation is in Black Ops 6, because you don't have the standard, oh, just shoot a zombie, you get 10 points. Basically, you just need to get headshots, because I believe it's like 160, 130, something like that amount of points, and that's the most points you can get per kill, which honestly kind of sucks in my own opinion, just because it's gonna make the economy just way worse, especially for weapons. Yeah, you got, score streaks, yeah, you got Gobblegums back, you got the field upgrades, you got equipment. Like, sure, there's tons and tons of ways to take out zombies, but majority of the game, especially when you have the incentive to get 2,000 headshots on every single weapon besides like your launchers and your 2 melee weapons, to even get through the military camos. That's not even talking about Nebula or getting to gold or anything else like that. It becomes quite an issue if you're gonna make these changes, make it to where, the somewhat medium, typically where like most first time Easter egg rounds are going to be ending. the fact that, you're adding more abominations, like you can see right here on round 15, I got another abomination, which is crazy. Mind you, the clip in the beginning was like round 27 where I had two. But, the point still stands. I mean, the first abomination typically spawns around 15, but then after that, ever since the new patch today, I don't know why, but there's been two about every 2-3 rounds. So that's an issue. Hopefully they can change it back. Personally, I think, that every 5 to 10 rounds was a really good, honestly, a really good thing for it. But with them adding more spawns, I hope that they dive down the HP, at least cut it in half. Because the abomination skilling's absolutely insane once you get past round 40. You have to do, I think it's 60k plus headshots multiple times. Like even the chopper gunner, you see it doing 223,000 for a headshot, and it's still taking like at least 15 seconds on the chopper gunner exfil in round 41, so there's little things like that which they can just go in, just easily just change the codes. So hopefully that will be fixed. I'm really hoping that'll come up for the next map, because the next map I know we're getting like a new special mob. So a part of us having manglers, the vermin, probably parasites, because even today I was getting parasites randomly on Liberty Falls, which I find a bit odd. I don't know exactly how that happened. Maybe, you leave a vermin up long enough, it becomes a parasite. Who knows? I have no idea. Maybe that's something they just newly added to the patch and just messed up in the netcode. But hopefully that comes out, relatively soon. They just do a couple fixes before the new map comes out, because if not, you're gonna have manglers, vermin, you're gonna have the parasites, you're gonna have an elite mob, probably the amalgam, I would assume, unless the new mob isn't gonna be a special mob and it's actually gonna be the elite mob. So possibly the return of the mimic, which I personally didn't like as a viewer watching FireBC. I didn't really like how the Mimic worked. I thought, especially in the high runs, like how the Abominations are right now, it has way too much health. Even if you sit there and you hit its crit spot, it's just way too much. There needs to be a change. But I guess we'll see. Another issue that I've kind of ran into since the patches went live, though, is that now I don't know if it's because of the damage buff to certain weapons, but it seems honestly like a lot of the zombies have a ton more health. Even later on, like I'm using like a Tanto, it's legendary, it's got tier 3 pack-a-punch. I'm running out of ammo a lot, I'm sitting over here swapping through weapons, having to make sure I have a mandatory gun to take out just manglers because there's so many of them, and because the Tento's not doing enough damage. Part of it, yeah, it contributes to, because, oh hey, I don't have, let's say, the CHF barrel, which gives you, the extensive multiplier on headshots. Yeah, okay, I can see that, but at the same time, I have full perks, so you get Deadshot and everything else, and with the augments on Deadshot, typically Mangler shouldn't be that bad, especially even when you're using Napalm, or, sometimes we'll sit over here and turn a Mangler as well. But the fact that I'm just mag dumping after mag dumping after mag dumping with just regular weapons, and they're fully pack-a-punch the best I can, and there's no way to get stronger really after round 25. That's when you're really getting that tier 3 pack-a-punch. You got all your perks because of Wonder Fizz, especially like on Liberty Balls, because you can't on you can on Terminus because you can buy all the perks there, but on Liberty Falls you can't, so you have to wait for the Wonder Fizz, so it's just little minor issues. Maybe, I'm hoping that it's a mess up in the code. If this is how it's going to be attended, it's going to be a really rough year, and that's not even getting to the Gobblegum discussion. Gobblegums have been, honestly, both great and bad whenever you add them to Black Ops 6. Black Ops 3, the introduction of Gobblegums, really cool. It really affected gameplay, which I'm fine with. I'm not saying Gobblegums are a bad thing. But what I do find to be sort of a problem, though, is that you're gonna add Gobblegums in the new season pass. Okay, that's fine, you know, paying like what, $9, $10 for a season pass, get some Gobblegums. Sure, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of the people who are gonna be constantly playing the game, yeah, they'll be able to earn it that way versus also earn it while you're playing the game, which is good. I don't mind that at all. I think it's also good how the drop rates, you know, are fairly, I'd say fairly decent. Yeah, sometimes I get only one Gobblegum, other times I'm getting two. Sometimes I get lucky and I get three. The biggest problem though is that the spam in quality though is just extremely lacking. A lot of times it's just continuous rare Gobblegums. I'm already prestige 2, almost actually halfway to prestige 3, and I have maybe one, barely even one of each ultra, and that's just been from the original time of leveling up, that 1 to 55 when you get Gobblegums as a reward. I still have one of each ultra, which honestly is a bit surprising. It sucks, in my opinion, that you don't really get ultras. I think I got maybe one in this gameplay video, and this is after I think maybe 2, almost 3 days total of just playing zombies, camo grinding. It's more so closer to 2 days game time total. You know, just camo grinding, going for Nebula, still trying to get every gun gold. You know, so it's a bit iffy. I hope that changes, especially since they're gonna be implementing it to where you can just buy the Gobblegum packs and just buy just Gobblegums. I assume, just like a random rolls like a ultra or random rolls like a legendary. That's my assumption. I won't know yet, obviously, just like the rest of you, until this Thursday. So we'll see in the next couple of days how that's gonna be. But it also, you know, it causes a problem with there not being a way to really downgrade or, let's say, do like a salvage system with how you could with liquid diviniums back in Black Ops 3. I feel like that was a really good thing that, oh hey, let's say I have 100 of anywhere but here's, because right now I have 17. I wish I could be able to delete some of them and only have like maybe 5. Because right now I'm camo grind, I don't care, I'm not speedrunning Easter eggs. You know, let me get rid of them, give me some different essence, like give me something called like sugar, for example, and then let me just throw it back in, and let's say if I have 20 sugar, I can make 1 epic, or, you know, 10 sugar for a rare, 15 sugar for epic, 20 for a legendary, and then if I want an ultra, I have to have 50 sugar, you know, just something real simple. I'm not saying, you know, get rid of the whole earning Gobblegums themselves and kind of going back to liquid divinium. I'm not saying that needs to be a thing, but it would just kind of really help on the side, especially a lot of times with how the earn rate is. Now, double Gobblegum, double XP weekend, amazing for the amount of Gobblegums you got, but still, I didn't even get a single ultra. I got multiple legendaries, multiple epics, multiple rares, but when it came to ultras, it was just, they're non-existent. So, I mean, that's another bigger issue that I have in the game. And then apart from that, honestly, there's some gameplay issues. I mentioned it in a previous video. If you've watched it, it was whenever it was like Terminus's cancer and stuff like that. Whenever I was going against the boss fight, as a gameplay on it. But a big problem is having online only. Really, back in the day, you know, you didn't have to be online to play zombies. Now you do. I understand why you need to be online solo. You know, doing the leaderboards and all that stuff. Like, yeah, all that makes sense. That's always been a thing. The problem is, though, is that with everything constantly being online, even when you're in a solo match, technically you're connecting to your own private solo match that then connects to a server, which kind of brings an issue. You know, I've had multiple instances where I lag out of the game, but my internet's still completely fine, keeps working on the PlayStation, keeps working on my phone, and yet it keeps locking me out of the zombies. So every couple hours I've even been seeing other people, whether it's across like Twitter or YouTube videos, people were having to save and quit every couple of hours just to make sure they don't randomly start having lag spikes, to make sure that they don't randomly start crashing. So there's that's a big problem. I really hope, not necessarily we have to move away from like dedicated servers, but hopefully there's more stability, issues that will be fixed in the future. I don't know if maybe it's because of all the things that go on the ground, because you got salvage, you get all the equipments that go on the ground, you get sometimes just Easter egg items that pop on the ground, you got, score streaks that pop on the ground. There's a lot of UI stuff, there's a lot of just clutter that's in the game files, so hopefully maybe they can just change around some options. Maybe they make it a gameplay option to where, oh hey, you're not seeing all the different colors of everything that's on the ground. You just see it all as, the blank white color that you see for like armor plates, for example. I feel like that would be a pretty decent change. Hopefully it would fix some random internet issues, fix some of the random crashes. Maybe there's something else in the game files. But I mean, that is a big problem, especially when it comes to people that are speedrunning, because then it really messes up a speed run, because then you just gotta null and void. You gotta just go back. Let's say you have the best run ever. You got ray gun off of round 1. You got wonder weapon off of round 2 using wonder bar. So it's just it's big little problems. Is a weird way of saying it. Like, they're very little problems, but they have a bigger effect because the effect can be so bad. So hopefully that also gets fixed. Another thing, honestly, I feel like some of the winter weapons are underperforming. Like the jet gun, I feel like is amazing. It's absolutely amazing spot. Hands down the best wonder weapon in this game. It has infinite damage, one shots forever. It's alternate fire. Super good for stunning the abomination and just stunning manglers, especially when you're doing the Easter egg lockdown steps. It's really good. It's a really great gun. Really awesome. I love it. Ray gun, sadly, it's not like how ray gun was in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, which is hard to say. You have the additional pack of punches, which do help. It does do great against manglers. Absolutely phenomenal against manglers. Against the elite mobs, it kind of lacks more so. And then you get to the higher rounds, it's just doing splash damage and it just starts shooting like a marshmallow. So, it falls off just like how all the other guns fall off. I feel like maybe, just hear me out, Treyarch, but allow us to use an ammo mod on it. Or just give it an intrinsic ammo mod, like give it intrinsically, since it's a ray gun, it's shooting out plasma, right? So maybe have it intrinsically use dead wire, or let's say shadow rift, or like turned or something if you have the skin on, because it turns green. Just something really simple, but could help out a lot in the long run, because with that wonder weapon you can't use any ammo mods on it, which kind of sucks, but it's the staple of zombies. So hopefully maybe we'll see some ray gun tweaks. Maybe we'll get a new version of the ray gun, like the Mark II, Mark III. Maybe we'll see a Mark IV this year. Who knows? Apart from that, ray gun, I mean, it's in a good middle ground. But honestly, you get to the beam smasher, and it's just, why does it exist? Like, why is it here? And honestly, it's really bad. The alternate fire, however, I think is absolutely phenomenal. I think whoever thought of that idea, really good. It's basically just doing the same thing the Wonderwolf did, except without doing infinite damage and killing every single mob. But just having that nice little stun effect, it helps a lot in the Terminus boss fight. It helps a lot killing the amalgams that spawn, especially if you have an alternate gun that has like Dead Wire or Shadow Rift ammo mod on it. It makes it really good. Weapon wise, it kind of really falls off later on, around somewhere in the 40s. I haven't really tried going for higher rounds, just using regular guns. I'm not one of those who score streaks and abuse just hiding spots and camping spots and stuff like that. I played the game originally like at 8 years old in Black Ops 1, casually training on Kino. Okay, so I'm not real big into the, oh, use this method, use that method, let's min-max this, min-max that. I could care less. But with the Beam Smasher, there's gotta just be like a little bit, a little bit. I'm not saying a huge amount of damage, increase to it. But there's no reason like this Tanto right here. It's only Pack-a-Punch 2. It's doing 3k crits to the head. I have a Beam Smasher Pack-a-Punch one time. A critical only gives maybe 500 damage. It's not even in the thousands. Which, that's just abysmal. Even a tier 1 Pack-a-Punch on pretty much every gun gives you more than 500 critical, but the Beam Smasher, it's 500 critical just with its regular fire. That's not combining the alternate fire on top of the regular fire, which does a crap ton more, which is the proper way to do it. Problem is, though, that alternate fire uses a ton of ammo. So, I'm not saying, hey, give it greater ammo capacity, which could be an alternative to kind of fix the weapon, in all honesty. But the greatest thing, like, just give it a small buff, like a 25% damage increase. That's all I'm asking. It doesn't have to be huge to where, oh, it's the best weapon, it's gonna carry you through all the high rounds, like how people are with Liberty Falls. That's why they're getting around 200 plus, because of the whole jet gun thing being infinite damage. Sure, Beam Smasher doesn't have to be infinite damage, that's okay. Leave the alternate fire as it is. Honestly, alternate fire is great on both the Wonder Weapons. I hope this continues being a running thing with the Avalon map. I'm really hoping it's something cool, like a ethereal sword or something, where you can use King Arthur's knights, use their different weapons that were unique to them. Just something cool. But apart from the Beam Smasher, it needs a damage buff. If you're going for the Terminus Easter egg, honestly, yeah, run it, because you got to for one of the steps. But really, if you want to later on, you could just trade it out for like a GS45, a 762, any rocket launcher, and just have PhD on. And you're going to get the same outcome, and it's going to help a lot more. But, I mean, it's personal use. It's up to human error to figure out what you all want to use, what's the best strategy at the end of the day. But those are some of the main bigger issues. Some of the minor issues that I've had, honestly, I feel like are fixed in the game. Like, there's been minor issues like, oh, we don't get as many max ammos because the ammo cache now, I'm getting max ammos every couple rounds now, which I think is really good. Thank you. Another issue is that I feel like loot keys kind of drop less now. They always took a minute to start getting them going, but there for a while in Liberty Falls, I could almost open up the entire vault by round 40. Now, I'm barely getting a purple key. I'm barely getting a legendary key. Now, of course, they still drop, but drop rate's been lowered. Now, let's switch things over. Let's talk about some of the good things. One of the good things, at least from what I've noticed from playing into the high round gameplays, you're getting a ton more salvage now. That feels so good. Even without the side Easter egg, that feels so good. Like this Tanto that I'm using in the gameplay right here, it was only like level 6. I don't even have suppressor unlocked. I still get a ton of salvage for it, which is so good. I'm glad that change went through. I don't know whoever did it and whoever forgot to put in the patch notes, but let's just keep that a secret between us. Okay? But the increase in salvage, absolutely amazing. I feel like there's also, at least from what I've seen, I feel like there's also been an increase in zombie spawns, which, granted, makes sense because more leads, the more specials, and they're having more armored and heavy zombies, which, kind of sucks. But there has been an increase in zombie spawns, which I think is actually pretty cool, because, you can see right here in the gameplay, I have a tier 3 legendary weapon, almost 4k salvage again. There's, 10k extra essence, like, it's great. I felt like I was flying through the critical kills now, especially once you get past round, I want to say 22 is when it really starts picking up. It really starts ramping up like, hey, you're in the mid game now. You really need to pack a punch. You really need that tier 3 armor, especially. I mean, for good enough, you got some augments, maybe you can scrape by with tier 2, but personally, I just skip tier 2, go to tier 3. Like, once I get enough money, once I get my tier 2 pack a punch, I just do that. But yeah, I mean, it's a small improvement, but it has gone such a long way. It's probably going to help speedrunners a lot. It's definitely going to help with the new map, especially with it being the whole castle of Avalon and King Arthur's realm and all that stuff. So hopefully it'll help with door buying. I hope there's more doors. I hope there's more doors, which just means more playable area. You know, Terminus, not that many doors. There's like, what, 9, 10 doors? 7 doors, maybe, something like that. Something small. But, I mean, it's you know, it's got boats so you can go around the water, which makes sense. But, I mean, you got Liberty Falls, for example. You got 14 doors. So, personally, I just hope, you know, maybe just a little bit more doors just to give more area, more variety. Hopefully it's like something like 16, 17 doors, just, you know, just something a little cool. You know, it doesn't have to be something like too hard, but it would make sense as to why they kind of increase the amount of zombie spawns, increase the amount of salvage you earn. I mean, I feel like I'm just overflowing all the time now, and I'm not even touching round 40 yet. You know, typically I get up to around 38, 40s. It's like, okay, now I definitely have enough salvage. I'm just now touching 10k salvage with blood weapons being legendary. You know, I'm having 30k extra essence on top of that, you know. So, I feel like certain things like that, you know, go a long way. Uh, another thing that I've also noticed, I don't know if other people have noticed in Black Ops 6 Zombies, but you can actually uh, formulate the game just like how you could in older versions, like in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, to where it'll spawn the drops you need. Especially like with max ammo, the biggest thing about getting max ammos to ever spawn at all, you have to make sure that your gun quite literally runs out of ammo. Do not use the ammo cache. Make sure your gun runs out of ammo, use another gun. Max ammos will start spawning, they'll start spawning more often. Obviously you want more full powers, just use your, just use the field upgrade like once or twice, you'll start seeing full powers more often. The only one you're really not ever gonna see unless you touch the mystery box, honestly, is fire cell, which I find surprising. Hopefully that gets changed a little bit. I kind of hope we go back to the whole over rotating through which power up drops. But you know, being able to pick and choose different power ups that keep dropping because you're playing a certain way, I feel like that's really cool. The only problem is I feel like max armors come down way too much. I understand why. Again, that goes back to the issue of the lead special zombie spam that we're going to deal with right now. I guess because Treyarch, wherever they can see, oh, these are the people who got nebula camos, or these people are closing in on nebula camos, even though most of them have been abusing the bug glitches and all the different glitches on Terminus. Meanwhile, I haven't. You know, they're approaching, you know, 33 nebula, and they're needing, you know, the 10 elites on every single gun. You know, things like that make sense why you would add the change, but in the long run, boy, does it just really, it hurts gameplay. It really hurts gameplay. I'm not saying like, oh, I wouldn't play the game. I feel like, just honestly, as someone who's gotten back into zombies, it doesn't impact it in a greater effect like how they really think it is. Like, it's not bettering the game, it's objectively making it worse. You're not gonna see as many people or many casuals. I mean, I feel like I'm still a casual because I just chill like in the 40s. You know, maybe I'll go for the 50s soon, but here, like just today in the gameplay, I died like once or twice or 3 times. Like today in total of 2 games that I played. So there's definitely a lot of changes that were made. They're very subtle, but as long as I'd say if you had like over a day of game time played at just zombies, you definitely have noticed, especially before the patch. That's changed now. Like all the different spawns, there's so many more vermin, way more armor. There's so much, and yeah, part of me, I'm a bit happier because yeah, it's gonna make the camera grinds a lot easier. But on the long run, it just hurts getting to end game because right now the meta for end game is just, oh, we're gonna spam score streaks, we're gonna just spam the mutant injection or trapper gunners. We're gonna get a camp spot with an infinite weapon or a glitch spot and just spam these whenever we run out of ammo, grab the ammo crate. Which, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a fun gameplay loop, but personally, I mean, I play games like World of Warcraft on the hardest difficulties, which is mythic rating, and I find myself falling asleep sometimes just because the gameplay gets so repetitive. It kind of feels like if you want to get to those high rounds, you gotta play the same way. You gotta be reserved. You can't just run around. You can't train anymore, which kind of hurts me because, like I said, I started off in Black Ops 1 Kino. One of my favorite maps on there actually is called The Dead. So, like, having fun, running around training, all those memories I had with, like, my family friend, or, like, with my cousin with his favorite map being 5 off of Black Ops 1, it's just little things like that it kind of sucks that, yeah, this is where the game's gonna go. Do I understand it? Of course I do. I mean, we're playing like it's a battle royale. We get armor now. We're using score streaks. It's not like how zombies used to be. But hopefully, the issues I've stated in this video, I'm really hoping they all get fixed. At least, if it's not fixed by the mid-season, whenever the new map comes out, I'm not gonna harp on it too much. I'm hoping it will be fixed shortly afterwards, though. If they don't fix it, good luck. Definitely the meta is just gonna be getting away from energy mine. Pretty much everybody's gonna be running frenzy guard, which, by the way, absolutely amazing. That doesn't even get me on the gripe of how some of the field upgrades and some of the augments are just, there's no point in running them. I feel like half the augments in the game in general are just useless. There's no point in running half the augments in the game, whereas the augments for Frenzy Guard, or at least the first 2 augments, you're pretty good. That's another issue with the game that I've seen so far, at least from all the hours I put in. You get, the first 2 augments for everything in the game that you can, just to start off. And it changes the gameplay extremely drastically, but it doesn't really incentivize you, oh hey, let's keep upgrading like a certain research on an augment of, let's say, elemental pop so we can get the whole electric cherry thing. You don't really see that as much because, I mean, the first couple augments are honestly just, they're amazing. Some of the perks kind of suck. I mean, I kind of ranted on it a little bit in my previous video. I'm not going to touch on it too much, but some things, like some of the field upgrades, need to be changed. Healing aura, I messed around with it a bit. I think it's a good, I'd say a good decent field upgrade. I haven't really touched either shroud. I see that it's been consistently nerfed though, which makes me kind of sad, not just for like speedrunning and stuff, because I'm trying to get into that too. I want to try to be a more elite zombies player in my own personal sense. I want to get around 50 game. I want to get around 100 game for the very first time, considering this is the first game I've ever done an Easter egg, let alone doing Easter egg solo, which I think is awesome. That's amazing that the game is casual friendly, but if we're gonna start making these boss zombies ramp up and ramp up and ramp up, there needs to be tweaks to the augments to make them a bit better. Like some of the field upgrades, like Dark Flare, they suck. Like I tried running Dark Flare in the beginning because I was like, oh, this is so much better than Energy Mine. And when it comes to horde clearing, Energy Mine just does it better. Dark Flare, yeah, it's good. It's really great for shredding armor on stuff. It sucks on killing any elite mob though, which is another problem in itself. But is what it is. Hopefully they change it. Maybe, when I unlock the augments for it, because I still don't even have augments for really any field upgrade unlocked besides Frenzy Guard. I have the first two unlocked. It's been absolutely fantastic. So maybe, I unlock some more augments. Maybe Dark Flare gets better with the little rotating orbs, like it's Dead Ops Arcade or something. Who knows? But Dark Flare sucks. Healing Aura, I feel like, is a good, decent field upgrade. Aether Shroud, it's really pretty good. I've seen some people run it for high rounds. There's people running it for the speed runs. So all that makes sense. I'd say it's in a good, decent spot. Hopefully it doesn't get tweaked anymore. If it does, it's gonna really not necessarily suck like Dark Flare does, but it's just not gonna be up to the potential it could be. I know watching people use it in Cold War, that thing was absolutely cracked. It was busted, which, fair enough. But, hopefully we just get a good staple middle ground. Please, Treyarch, do not touch Frenzy Guard. It's in a great state right now. I absolutely love it. I didn't think it was that good at first. I unlocked the first two augments. Dear God, is it insane. Energy Mine, I think it's great if you want to train zombies. If you're just doing a camp spot for high rounds, I really don't recommend it. I definitely don't recommend it at all for the Terminus Easter egg. Either run Aether Shroud, Healing Aura, or Frenzy Guard. Personally, I would run Frenzy Guard, especially with the first two augments, because it repairs armors on your kills. It instantly gives you all your armor. Some of its other augments make it even better. There's so many combos and tricks. I mean, we'll probably be going over this in the next month or so, later on down the line, whenever I make another video talking about how stuff needs to change or what happened because of these changes or that changes. Just little things. But apart from that, I mean, field upgrades, they're in a decent spot. Some of the equipment, absolutely amazing. Combat axes, dear Lord. I never thought that I was going to use equipment a lot. I started using combat axes to do the Terminus Easter egg. They're absolutely insane. Super good. So, please, please, please don't make it to where they cleave less. I love the cleave on them. They actually help a lot, even for special zombies. So if you're going for like some of those melee kills, I know whenever I start doing the baseball bat, it's going to be horrible. But using just the throwing axe just to chip them down a little bit and then coming in melee swipe them, or just use your regular gun, it helps a lot. Ammo mods, I've write on that in the last video. If you want to hear about that, go watch my terminus cancer, whatever I titled the video. I kind of forgot myself because it was so long and it was at 2 o'clock in the morning. Go watch that. I talked about the ammo mod situation. But honestly, this patch, it's brought a lot of bad, minor issues. Some of them are minor, a lot of them are major, like the special and elite zombies. Sorry, I talked about that so much, but it's a really bad problem now. It got even worse. So if you're going for high rounds, be careful. Run Frenzy Guard, maybe Healing Aura, or Aether Shroud, whichever one you prefer. Do not run anything else. Hopefully Treyarch starts buffing the guns, because I don't know if it's due to them having so many armored zombies, or the zombies got increased health, what exactly happened. But it just feels like I'm constantly running out of ammo now on every single gun whenever I'm trying to farm camos. I mean, I used to exfil in 41. Now it's like I gotta run exit strategy every time, and as soon as this gun falls off, I gotta go. There is no way, or I have to have CHF barrel, which honestly, as a gameplay loop, that kind of sucks. But is what it is. The game's only been out like what, 2-3 weeks. So hopefully we'll see some improvements. Hopefully they won't be super bad. If they are bad, hopefully they'll receive the feedback not as a negative critic, but as, it's a positive criticism, But yeah, guys, that's all I really have for you today. Thank you for watching. Sorry that the video was so long. Maybe next time I'll be able to get out the Sparking Zero video, but yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Have a good rest of your day. Stay blessed. See ya.